clubhouse run, you can run out wide, you don't really need to go any further than that. Then sometimes it's better to be slightly slow into the beginning of the S's to get the car settled, to then drive the car hard with the switch back to the right, then up the hill. No, you're looking up at the sky or the trees or the buildings around you, then it plateaus out, then back to the left, this almost double left, as you drop down from near Corp, down the mine shaft, through the little flick, through, well, mine shaft is, in fact, that's the corner, it's called mine shaft, but it is the vertical drop that also, I think, gets the moniker of mine shaft.
Now, Nick Tandy did not go quicker in Sector 1 nor Sector 2, but he could be building up for a quick lap here. Rides the curve out of Cheetah down towards Ingway then at the end of the lap. The Fricadelli car. You see also some of the backing for that by regular driver in the VLN, Klaus Abelin. Over the timing line goes Tandy, does a 43.3, keeps him 7th, as against a 42.4, which is the top time of Yelmer Berman.
Just keep an eye on Nick Tandy coming through Crowthorne, because he's running a little bit wider on the exit than other of the quicker cars. He's going out to the curb. Others are holding it a bit tighter to get a straighter cut through. They go through the Yuxke sweep. So there is the car currently provisionally quickest with, what, 16 odd minutes to go.
Yeah.
There was Lucas Stoltz behind it. There's still Lucas Stoltz who is going out. And there are a set of Pirelli tyres. Are they just come off, or are they being prepped?
Certainly used, aren't they?
Well, they are being used.
So that's the KCMG Nissan garage. Pirelli engineers having a look, looking at the wear, but people saying that the tyres will just go on and on and on. There's no benefit to double stint them because these are timed pit stops, so you're not saving anything in a pit stop.
No.
Might as well put your
those tyres will be taken away, and they will be then prepared, if maybe for, in some cases for qualifying, in other cases for the race. So they'll scrape off bits and pieces of debris that have been picked up. Soft rubber picks it up, particularly on the way into the pits.
So the KCMG squad with number 35 Nissan 5th, and 16th is where the sister car is. Oliver Jarvis currently behind the wheel of it. KCMG we've got used to in GT terms, but also as an organisation did a mega job in coming up with a whole grid full of Formula 4 single-seaters for the FIA Motorsport Games a few weeks ago. Number 34 BMW here is on its final warning for track limits, and it is still Nick Katzberg behind the wheel.
Well, I mean, either the message isn't getting through or the message isn't being passed on, whichever way around. You know, it doesn't say which corner, so maybe all the corners, but Nicky Katzberg behind the wheel will most surely have been given the message. Now, that's not what they're talking about. That's acceptable. It'll be potentially going out of, I think, barbecue, more likely here on the exit of 16. This is the corner where drivers are allowing their cars to, they take the pressure off the car on the exit to get slightly better exit speed, but in doing so potentially running too far wide, and I would imagine that's where most of the attention is being focused.
So Katzberg 15th in the times. His target is Richard Leeds, the GPX Golf Porsche, not doing a great job in this session for whatever reason. Touch of understeer there, the BMW seemed to push out a bit wide.
Yeah, I mean, it was slightly strange the way Katzberg came into Crowthorne. It didn't look as if he was going to go on to another time. That maybe now has changed his mind. He didn't want to maybe overrun into the back of the Honda, which is still in 8th place. Polinomi behind the wheel. So Nicky Katzberg, maybe this is the lap he's going to decide to come in. No further improvements through the field. We're into again one of those lulls in a session where there's not very much progress. Christopher Haase currently in 12th place has got a personal best in the 2nd sector, and he's actually popped into the pits anyway, the 3rd sector.
The Lamborghini up to the final corner. Charles Orange's team boss at Stradale Racing. He's imported most cars into this country for the South African Endurance Championship, I think it's fair to say. Great enthusiast, and 27th that car is. Again, it's an older Lamborghini Huracan. It's not one of the Evos, but it's going nicely in the national class. Recovered from its pram yesterday when it was swatted off the road, rather. What have we got left? Just under 13 minutes. And the Lamborghini up now to barbecue.
There are a few green sector times coming up. That means it indicates personal bests. So the number 9 Porsche, the Team Perfect Circle, currently in 20th place. That's one of the local entrants. So that's a small improvement. So they'll be, I think, happy to get into the top 20.
At the risk of being pedantic, because you know it's not in my nature, that's number 9, not 09.
Oh, of course.
20th
yes.
is the Lechner car.
Absolutely.
The Perfect Circle 09, John, I'm afraid to say, is still 28, but it has improved its lap time.
You're right. 09 and 9. 09 is the Perfect Circle car.
Yeah.
9 is, you point out, the Lechner. All the way from Austria, I'm assuming. Unless they've got a division down here.
They have a Middle East division, don't they? But not a South African, I don't think.
They do a lot of international racing.
They do, yeah. But they also have been not only stalwarts in, but also operating the GT3 Cup Middle East Porsche series. Dylan Pereira, the Luxembourg driver, is the man that's just set the time in that car.
Obviously comes from a musical family.
Quite. There's the 22 Ferrari, David Perel, local driver. We've seen him in Europe, but he's delighted to be racing on home soil in the Rinaldi Ferrari in that Wochenspiegel newspaper colours. Again, a regular sight in the Nürburgring 24 Hours.
And just to tell you how friendly a country we're in, Bruce Jones, our pit lane man today, as he was leaving the hotel, came down in the elevator with David Perel's mum and dad.
Oh, there you are. It's a big thing for him, this, a bit like the Van der Lindes, to go and race abroad and come back and be competitive as well. David Perel, who had an early career, ran out of money, built up a web hosting and web design company, and then with his business success was able to go racing again.
Well, it's always, I think, wonderful to see drivers who have left their homeland to go off, take the risk, take the chance to compete at a world level, to then return home, because there's always those that, oh well, you know, when he was racing here, I used to beat him.
Yeah.
Well, those people never left, never even found out. And congratulations, not like the Van der Lindes or David Perel and others who have made that journey. In the one most famous of them all, South African is, of course, world champion Jody Scheckter.
Indeed. Let's have a look at the windscreen of that car. We know that quite often GT cars have a rip-off windscreen, like you have a tear-off visor, but whatever is on the screen of that Ferrari looks all bubbly and slightly disfigured to me. There it is.
Yeah, it looks like somebody's taking a baseball bat to it, to be truthful.
I can't be helping visibility.
I don't know what you're seeing. We're seeing the external light reflecting off. Whether you get that from in behind the wheel, I don't know. But it's worth it. You know, if Bruce has got nothing better to do when David Perel gets out of the car, there's an alternative pub quiz question he might be asked.
And David Perel comes in, so he thinks time for another word with Bruce. Up to the timing line goes number 9, Dylan Pereira. That's the Lechner Porsche that we were touching on a little while ago. South African Saul Hack, who races in Porsche Super Cup, is one of the drivers of that car this weekend as well. Another driver looking for success on home soil. There's Nick Tandy's car rejoining the session in the background, look, so getting busy down at Crowthorne.
Yes, the two South Africans sort of not knowing whether one's going to commit or the other's going to concede, coming into Crowthorne, so a little bit of follow my neighbour for one out of barbecue, so Nick Tandy will want to clear these two cars as quickly as possible. So the Porsche, which is technically the quicker of these two cars we're looking at, but just being cautious, I would say.
Saul Hack's been stuck there now for about a third of the lap. You can see the way that Nick Tandy has arrived on the scene. And now Tandy's got two cars to try and find a way past. Charles Ranges is at the head of the queue in the Lamborghini, but Saul Hack can't find a way by.
Well, I think Nick Tandy will probably dispose of these pretty quickly. You can see up the hill, up into the Cop, gets up alongside the first, and then the Lamborghini is going to be gobbled up pretty much on the way down through Manshaft down to the conclusion of the snap.
So Tandy gets ahead of Saul Hack, who's followed Nick into Porsche Super Cup racing. And then he's got to get past that Lamborghini. We've got 8 more minutes on the clock, and our discussion about the windscreen of David Perel's Ferrari has, as we expected, prompted Bruce to go and investigate further. His auto windscreens apprenticeship complete. Bruce, what do you know?
Got the clipboard, but not the customer. Unfortunately, he didn't get out of the car. He drove off But as I approached the car, the windscreen really looked actually like mine was the other day when someone hit it with something. It's effectively like a massive hand, a 5-pronged device, but there's fairly even bubbling, and it's sort of not too much in his way. But again, that's easy for me to say, but it's certainly not ideal conditions, and certainly you wouldn't want that when the sun starts going down and you're going to that half light. So let's hope it's something that the Rinaldi team, I'm sure, will pay attention to before they go out qualifying, and certainly before the race, but making it slightly difficult, but not enough to make him abandon ship and get out of the car.
Okay, Bruce, thanks very much for that. Augusto Farfus at the wheel here at number 42 BMW. Quickest last night, only 10th in this session, and Augusto Farfus, we've not really seen this car do very much. It doesn't feel in this session. It's done 46 laps, which is quite a number, but it's not really ever gone wow.
I mean, they were very positive last night about the performance of the car, and it hasn't so far translated into a time that would soon. Farfus in 10th place, he's 1/6 of a second away on the car. He's just gotten behind the wheel. But again, teams they've got their agendas. They want to work through the programs. I'm sure, are conscious that starting at the front is going to be a bigger advantage than starting in the mid-pack. 28 cars all charging down into Crowthorne in the opening lap is probably going to be a bit congested. So if you're in that middle sector of the grid, row 4, 5 through to maybe 8, 9, that no man's land, if there's something going to happen, that's the part of the circuit, a part of the lap it'll happen.
Now there is Dries Van Voor, who won the Nürburgring 24 Hours this year, beat his brother, who was leading, got a time penalty, and then the car of Laurens Vanthoor was excluded anyway, but there was something for the Vanthoor family to cheer about. Dries was a winner, and here he is out of Ingwe, turn 16. That Audi 25 is 17th, and that is very bad news if you are Frederik Vervies and you're here fighting for a championship.
I think it's very bad news for Vincent Valls as well as a team boss at WRT. So that is a car well and truly out of position. And again, you'd imagine maybe WRT would want to throw a set of new tyres at that car. Maybe they have decided they've got it again. We know where the car is. We know what the car is capable of. Save our tyres for when it counts, which is for qualifying. Look at the dirt on the track, just offline. That's a combination of that red dust that's all around the Kyalami circuit, and of course the rubber that's being shredded from the tyre surface. Back to Stephen Kane, Bentley on the way. So 108 is currently in 13th place. The sister car, Maxime Soulet behind the wheel in the 107 in second.
And all of that litter you pointed out around the circuit is from an hour and 40 minutes of running. We've got 9 hours of racing, so imagine what the track surface is going to be like, rain not expected, for the final part of the race.
Well, it will mean the effective racing line will become narrower and narrower, which in turn means it'll become more and more difficult, because nobody in the leading car or your competitive car, when he's coming up to lap a car further through the field, will want to go offline. So he'll expect the slower car, get out of my way, I'm on the clean line, you get out of my way. Just one of the hazards you have to contend with. Nighttime racing, track that's got a load of build-up on it, and cars that have been popping wheels off the track and throwing up a load of dust.
Down the pit lane comes number 25, Dries Van Voor. Practice pit stop. She's still got drivers ready to take over, even with only 4 minutes of the session to go. They're still trying to cycle through or do a practice pit stop, so you'll do a driver change as part of that pit stop practice.
Yeah, and I think that most of it, so you can look at the Honda, you can see again likewise on those strips that they put on the windscreen. I don't know whether there's air bubbles actually behind it, or whether that is something more, but you'd imagine if the driver is saying that, his vision would be somewhat impaired, but I think when you're in the cockpit, you're not so conscious of it. Into clubhouse corner. In swings the 13 Lamborghini Stradale Motorsports Stradale. That always is an indication that it's a performance-related expression.
We've been getting worried about these Audis. Vincent Valls might be able to tell all because he is with Bruce.
Vincent Valls, you come to the front of the Audi Sports Team WRT garage. Obviously, one of your drivers, Fred Vervies, has a really good chance in this championship finale, but his car at the moment is down in 17th place. What's happening?
Well, obviously we are facing quite a difficult situation. I think the altitude of the track doesn't really help us here. We are still looking for some time, for some performance. Well, I don't know what to say. I think we are missing quite a lot on the straight, as we can see on the top speed chart. And well, let's see what we can do. I mean, it's not down to only the speed. I mean, we have a very strong lineup, and we will push hard.
Now, nothing to do with performance, but I notice a lot of the cars seem to have lots of bubbles on their windscreens at the moment. Is this going to be a problem for the drivers, or is that just a strip that's not been put on well?
I think it's quite hot, as we could expect, but it's not that critical for the driver. I think it's hot, but we have all the equipment that it's needed to survive in a 1 hour stint.
A 1 hour stint for a 9 hour race. Good stuff. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Just listen to Vincent Voll, who's as canny as anybody in the pit lane.
Yeah.
I think he's doing a very, very subtle lobby for an adjustment on the BOP.
I couldn't agree more.
And I mean, is it the car conditions? Well, aero, everybody's in the same situation. So rule out aero. He did say, I think we're down in performance on this part of the circuit, down out of 16, down into Crowthorne. Is he kind of saying, please reconsider a BOP break for us, please? Do you agree?
I agree, absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely. And I suspect every other team will try the same thing. But at the moment, you would say that Audi's
They've got the evidence.
appear to be struggling.
They've got the evidence.
Exactly.
See, it runs way wide coming out of Crowthorne. I mean, I think it's pointless getting that wide out of Crowthorne. It's almost as if you're trying to force additional performance out of the car. So Christopher Haase behind the wheel. I don't think that's the solution to Crowthorne. That's maybe a degree of frustration.
David Pirelli, incidentally, is into the top 20, improved last time, 1:43.594. This is Andy Soucek, who is looking good. 2 personal bests in sectors in the 108 Bentley. And the flag is imminent. We've got, 34 seconds to go before the session's at an end. So Andy is going to get one more lap out of this. You've got Soule and Soucek in the 2 Bentleys currently. Maxime Soule's car is second. And Soucek goes 9. That was a good effort, that. Good improvement. There's number 18 Nissan, which is Alexandre Imperatori. 16th quickest, the KCMG run car at the moment. So the flag is imminent. Look, 10 seconds to go. And Imperatori, what did he do in sectors? Good in 1, down in 2. Let's see whether, as he takes the flag, there's going to be an improvement. There is the checkered flag, and it is waved at David Perel, first of all, and Alexandre Imperatori didn't go any quicker, nor did David Perel. So, session at an end, and Mercedes tops the times, thanks to Jelmer Berman, number 10. There's the perfect circle Porsche of Franco Scribanti at the end of the session. A little bit of drift of Charles Ranges, but the team trying to get through these sessions without any dramas and then get into the race. That's what they are here for. The AMS, the national teams, with a clear mission, and that is to enjoy their home race, whereas for others it's to win a championship, whether it's as a driver or a manufacturer. Number 29, 13th at the end of the session, Christopher Haase brings the car to the flag. Looking to see if there's anybody that might be able to improve on the last lap. Well, actually, Charles Ranges did, and Andy Soucek, who's got one more lap out of it, will be possibly able to have another go. No, he's bailed, in fact, he's pitted. Right, so the session at an end, it's Mercedes top, and how many did we end up with within a second? 17 cars. And just to show how competitive it is, the 18th, which is the Merc of Sergei Afanasiev, was only 1,000th outside the second, 1.001 off the top. So this is the order then. Jelmer Berman doing the top time ahead of the Bentley of Jules Grunor, Maxime Soulet, and another of the South Africans that we have here, Jordan Pepper. Then it's the Vantor Bamba Campbell Porsche from championship leader Maxi Buch with Raffaele Marciello, who did the lap time, and Mario Engel fourth. Katsumasa Chio fifth with Gianpaolo Oliveira and Josh Burden. And then sixth quickest, Sven Muller, Romain Dumas, and Dirk Werner. Fricadelli Porsche seventh, the Honda eighth, ninth Bentley 108, and 10th is the Pro Class Stracker Mercedes. 11th the Schnitzer BMW, our Motorsports Aston 12th, ahead of the Land Audi. Only 14th, bit of a puzzle, is the GPX Spa 24 winning Porsche, and then the number 34 Valkenhorst BMW is 15th quickest at the end of our pre-qualifying period. 16th, the second of the Nissans, ahead of the WRT Audi, 17th quickest. 18th Black Falcons Mercedes, 19th the second of the Aston Martins, and 20th is the Rinaldi Ferrari, which in so doing fends off the Pro-Am leading Aston Martin of Chris Goodwin, Alexander West and Koen Ledegaard. Saul Hack along with Lars Kern and Dylan Pereira next for Lechner. Stracker's Pro-Am car 23rd, Valkenhorst's Am I should say, entry 24th, 25th is the AM Mercedes of SPS Performance. Next up is the Pablo Clark Racing, forgive me, Ferrari, heading the local contingent really, because that outpaces the Stradale Lamborghini and the Perfect Circle Porsche.
He's just looking up and down, and
so let's have a look at the highlights of the session, which began here at Kyalami. Under sunny skies, the lights going to green, and Dirk Werner being first out in number 911 Porsche. An hour and 45 minutes of pre-qualifying for all the drivers, for the teams. A chance for some, like Franco Scrivanti for Team Perfect Circle Racing, to get on with the job, to gain some more mileage, having missed a test session yesterday. Quickly into his stride, though, was Rodrigo Baptista in the Bentley. Driver changes, of course, as the teams cycle through the session. Maxi Buch running third early on in the man-filtered Gruppe M Mercedes. That car rebuilt after a sizable accident yesterday, and a tireless amount of work from the team and the locals getting the car on track. Helmet on, time to go into battle, and the 108 Bentley was another car on the limit as Rodrigo Baptista found the limits and then a bit. Early pace from Michael Christensen, but it wasn't really continued. Maybe that's another team keeping dry its powder going into qualifying later on. A slide coming out of Cheetah for the 911 Bernhardt Porsche that slithered its way across the curb and across the gravel, and he wasn't the only driver there, Dirk Werner, to be caught out by that, because others had exactly the same problem. Change of tyre for 2, used Pirellis off, sticker Pirellis on, and Dane Cameron briefly put the Honda to the top of the times. But in the end, Maxi Goetz, Jelmer Berman and Lukas Stolz topping the times at the end of pre-qualifying here. And that was all with Lukas Stolz giving the curb a right old whack. Qualifying begins at 14:45 local time. It's 12:40 local time now. And we're looking forward to the 3-part qualifying session to determine the grid and indeed who goes forward into Superpole. But it has been an interesting session, and this the car that tops pre-qualifying at Kyalami, the Mercedes courtesy of Jelmer Berman. For now, from Bruce Jones, John Watson and David Anderson, it's goodbye from Kyalami.